The frame on the driver's side of the car was rusted out, so I cut out some metal pieces and welded it in with the flux core welder and put some metal primer on it so it wouldn't rust while it was stored in the garage. A small rust hole was also patched in the wheel well. A portion of the floor and a structural piece had rusted out behind the driver's seat, so I cut out some metal and welded that in. I also applied rust converter inside the structural piece to stop the rust. Here's the welder I used to weld everything up. It has a spool of flux core wire in it. In the boot, the rear latch piece had rusted out. This is what the underside of the car looked like before I did the rust repair, and this is what it looks like afterwards. Both rear wheel arches had big rust holes in them. This is where the rear wings would normally mount. This bottom piece had totally rusted out. I've got all the new and used parts laid out on this table here that will be installed on the Morris Minor. Here's the differential all cleaned up and refurbished. Because of safety reasons, I've replaced the brake shoes, wheel cylinders, brake lines, brake hose, and also renewed the fluid. Here's the propeller shaft. I gave it a coat of black oil based paint and replaced both of the universal joints. I purchased a grease gun which I used to fill the universal joints and will be used to maintain the car. I've been saving up money to buy various parts, such as these bushes for the front suspension. I've also got the bushes for the rear suspension as well. I refurbished the master brake cylinder using a kit I bought online. I also changed the oil in the motor and the gearbox. I plan to brush this used oil inside the sills to prevent rust. I'll take the rest to the transfer station and get it recycled. Here's the motor oil I used in the engine and the gearbox. It's just the cheap 20W50 stuff from the warehouse. I believe it was $18 for 4 litres and I bought 2 of them. Here's the old oil filter in this plastic bag. I bought the new oil filter from Repco. While at Repco, I also purchased a bottle of this classic mild gear oil. This is the stuff that's equivalent to the recommended EP90 oil in the Morris Minor manual. And I also got a bottle of DOT4 brake fluid. I went to Mitre 10 and purchased a can of colour match paint which resembles the car, as well as a can of black paint. Here's the front passenger side wheel well. I painted it black to stop the rust. I've left the engine alone, there's not much I can really do. I think I'll just paint the engine bay and leave it. For some reason, a lap belt was installed only on one side of the rear passenger seat, but not the other. I think I might install another one on the other side. Here's another rust repair that was done on the front passenger side sill. I painted the inside of the chassis legs black, and I also intend to put a film of oil in here as well. I put a plastic sheet on the boot of the car before I leave. This is because the portion of the garage is leaky. Now it's time to go upstairs and take a shower, so I'll close this door. Then I'll turn off these fluorescent lights. Usually my mum's car would be here. I'm running out of space to store my projects, so the go-kart had to go outside for a bit.